Hello everybody and welcome to the DAD booth. I have the great honor of having with me Jimmy Dougless, a legend within our field. As a producer and engineer, I am humbled by your appearance here. And I'm going to say that there are records you've been involved with, things like the Gang of Four stuff, all of the remix things that you have been doing over the years, which to me as a producer has been extremely important. So thank you so much for that. Also all your recent work with Timberlake and all those people, you continue to inspire us, and I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. I have the joy of being able to show you the DAD audio products. We have something called the Thundercore line. But before that, is there anything you want to tell me about what are you doing here? What are you working on right now?
Oh, I'm just working on a couple of projects, a couple of rappers from Chicago, a couple of rappers from Atlanta, putting a couple albums together, experimenting with some production.
All right, fantastic. And what's your so technically, how are you set up? You're all in the box, I assume?
I am all in the box.
Yeah.
I am in Miami.
Yeah.
And and I'm doing Atmos a lot.
Yeah.
And living the digital world.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, again, thank you for being here. I'm going to show you a range of our products. I'm just going to focus on one product, which is the AX64, which is all of our products are essentially have the same heart. It has the Thundercore heart, which is a motherboard with an insane amount of inputs and outputs that becomes sort of the Swiss Army knife of your studio. In live music and playback and all this little thing is extremely popular because that is the heart of the product. That's the core. It has 256 channels of Thunderbolt at low latency on one that goes to the Mac, 256 bidirectional. It's got 256 channels of Dante. It's got 64 channels of MADI on B and C. It also has the ability. You also have the ability to add another couple of cards in there, so you get 2 extra optical MADIs in there for another 64 channels, times 2, so 128. On top of that, if you have a piece of equipment that is light pipe ADAT that you still enjoy using, we also have 32 channels of that. That's all within this one little half unit thing, which is pretty cool. All of these then share the same DNA, but this gives you the opportunity to add input-output cards in the way that you would do in other products, that you would just say, well, I want to have a system here, which is like my Fly system, right? The Fly system would be an AX Center, has 2 high-quality preamps in the front, 4 set of monitors on the 4 monitor outputs on the back, 2 stereo, or any way you want to do it when you do an LRC, LR sub, whatever. Then 2 independent headphones on the front. 2 cards, you can choose between any of our award-winning microphone preamps. You can have analog ins if you want to do it as a insert kind of thing, analog outputs, another set of Dante if you want it, Dante with sample rate conversion, MADI, all of those things. So you can create your own interface. The big guy, which we're going to be talking about, is the X64, exactly the same things, but with 8 cards. So this will be the center point of a studio. So this is what Sylvie Massey has right now. She has lots of analog ins and outs and digital ins and outs to kind of be part of a digital workflow in the studio. But let me show you exactly how this is set up. So in this particular version, I'm going to look at my AX64. Going to open that. So what you're seeing here is essentially every single input, every single unit I have on my network. So this is just connected with one Ethernet cable. I could go in and say, well, I want to look at the AX64, which is sitting right here. I want to look at my inputs that are sitting over there. One little connection's all I need. So let me look at this. On my AX64, I don't have, so if I have any analog inputs, they will all come in here. Any analog outputs will all come in here. This is a monitor profile, which is essentially a way for you to take all of these inputs and outputs, create your own monitor setup, and control it with this little beautiful thing we call the mom, because mom controls dad. And essentially you just make the width of you can have a stereo input, an Atmos input, any kind of width of the channels that you want, and you can just put it on that and you're able to switch between them effortlessly. Really nice way of having a digital workflow, right? Then we have the heart of the matter, which is essentially every single patch point on every single machine is available to you really, really simply, which gives you the opportunity to say, well, everything I have, I'll set it up, I will name it, and I have a digital patch bay. Up to 8 cores, plus all of the Thunderbolt, plus all of the MADI, plus all of the Dante, everything you have. So it gives you tremendous flexibility, and at the same time, these inputs, these outputs are world class. Some of the like the least noisy, most dynamic inputs and outputs that you can get. Really easy to work with. Let me actually go to my AX32, which has a couple of microphone preamps and lines. I can remote control them all. As you can see right now, I'm actually talking into one of these mics, boom, 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 boom. And as I move this around, so let me actually do it here in the center. If you lay your ears in here, you'll hear, because we don't use potentiometers, we use actual relays, which means that you get the best quality of the mic preamp by using actually a relay switch to make your gain, which means you don't get any of the artifacts that happens when you have to. So it's like an old school Neve, an old school anything like that happens, remote controlled, gives the most amazing preamp, right?
My Neve didn't sound like that.
But it will if you put one, if you put a guy and do this all the time, right? So that's the idea, is instead of like just having something that is like, you know, continuous, you actually set the resistors that you need to do with relays. That's one of the reasons this is an amazing interface. On the outputs, you have exactly the same things available to you. You know, you can set either as mic or line on the inputs. You can set your headroom on the outputs,
Right.
and then you can on top of that, you can control everything that's going on with your monitor things. Having someone comes into your system with a Dante, I'll say, well, okay, let's say I'm on my sender here. Someone comes in with the Dante inputs. I want to put that into my computer. I'll just so I have a bunch of inputs, like 256 inputs of Dante, right? And I can put those into 256 inputs that comes back on the Thunderbolt. So I have a really, really quick way of someone comes in with like a lot of inputs from a recording rig or from a live rig, and they come and say that you're like, we have a Dante here, get that in, you just go in, put it in, make the link, let's make it on the 64. Like, you know, they come in and say, oh, we have a MADI, and I want to send that MADI to my computer, which is a Thunderbolt. Click them in. You now have taken every single MADI channel within that thing, and you have it on your board ready to mix. So that is what we do. So essentially, the audio quality of what we do, we're really proud of, but also with the flexibility of being able to hold all these things on, which is why we're so popular in monitoring applications and stuff.
Right. That sounds awesome.
So I'm really happy I got the chance to show you these things.
Right.
And you know, my only question to you would be, is nostalgia overrated? You want to move forward, right? You want to push the boundaries. You want to do that. But at the same time, we also have a tendency to be nostalgic. You know, we want to. But like when you are in a digital workflow right now,
right,
which is clearly you moving forward. At the same time, music has a tendency to be retroactive. So, is there a way that you feel like you can work within this world and still retain some of those qualities of you know?
So not a direct answer, but I'm going to try to answer it. I believe that when you look forward, you can't look backwards. So nostalgia is nostalgia, and you're going to do certain things by habit. It's not impossible, but it's really almost near impossible not to hold on to some of your things that the way you did them. But however, if I'm looking here, I'm looking here. I can't work here if I'm looking back, because this is different.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say better, or I'm not going to give a quality judgment.
Yeah.
I think it's more versatile, without a doubt. Yeah. And I'm just trying to figure out how can I utilize this to create new memories.
Well, look, thank you so much for letting me show you this.
Oh.
I'm very, very honored to be able to do that. And if you've learned anything, then I'm overjoyed.
I learned a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.